72, but he entered the room to Imagine Dragons Believer, and
he was shaking his booty too. He got up on stage, kind of boogieing, and
Emma has great video footage of Stephen Mandel dancing up to the platform.
I do.
And he gave a very vigorous campaign launch in which he kind of attacked both the UCP and the NDP simultaneously, saying he was going to find the sweet spot in the middle and that he was going to be pragmatic and not ideological. And, of course, his entry into the race, he's the biggest name in the race, with apologies to Rick Fraser, the former PCMLA from Calgary, who's also in the race.
Who went independent and then went Alberta Party.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Mandel gives that race a boost of profile, a boost of credibility. He's also the only Edmonton candidate. Well, the young feller, you're still trying to figure out if
he's from Calgary.
He's from Calgary. So he's the only Edmontonian in the race.
The young fellow is Jacob Huffman, the hurricane, if you will, who I actually spoke with the other day.
And is he a real candidate, or
he's
is he
a real person?
He's a real person, but
doesn't exactly answer the question, am I?
All right, but he's a real person. This is not like a Mr. Mack question from the municipal election.
If only.
He exists.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, Mandel instantly gives the race more credibility and more profile, especially here in Edmonton, where the Alberta Party has never made much of an indent. But whether he'll be able to overcome, there's a lot. I was really shocked when I posted stuff on Twitter and Facebook, and when I posted my column, the amount of animus directed towards him really surprised me. I mean, some people are angry because they say, well, as mayor, he had all these great big projects, and then now, we're left to pick up the pieces when the metro line literally goes off the rails, when the bridges don't get open on time, that he sort of had all these big dreams and didn't have the necessary follow through. But more people seem to be angry that he was part of the Prentice cabinet, that he was part of the Prentice government, that sort of whiff of sulfur still is sticking to him. And I was really quite taken aback with the degree of vehemence with which people posted negative comments about a man who I thought was still very popular in this city.
Well, and there's also a segment that doesn't like the arena deal that he shepherded through as well.
I was one of the most outspoken critics of the arena deal all through the process, but it's hard for me to know why you're still angry now, because mostly it seems to be working out.
Don't let the anger go.
Better than I had imagined.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And I wasn't exactly a fan. I wasn't living in Edmonton at the time that all went through, but I was following it closely living in Calgary, and I wasn't exactly a fan of how that went down either. But it's hard to argue what that is doing to what was a dead spot in our downtown core. But yeah, I think that he is going to wear more so than Rick Fraser even, I think, he's going to wear the distaste for the Tory party, even though he wasn't really part of the old boys Tory network, but I think his profile in Prentice's cabinet makes him wear that a little more. I don't necessarily think it's fair, but that's where it is.
I asked him about that because, and as Paula, as you said, so he was appointed to be a cabinet minister when he didn't even have a seat. I mean, if you want arrogance, that is pretty much the epitome of it, right? So I said to him, you are that kind of action is part of the reason that the PCs got swept from power after 44 years. It was this entitlement that, hey, I'll just appoint my health minister and he doesn't even have a seat, but whatever, there's a by-election down the road,